the main slate was absolutely crazy for Week 3. The South Beach explosion, my goodness. Devon, Achane, Raheem Mostert, Tua Tagovailoa, Tyreek Hill, the whole team went off. We're going to get into that and much more here in Week 3, but let's get right to the intro so we can bring to you all the...
Triumph in the trap.
This is for the dollar.
Do you believe in miracles?
Ay, I play chess, but only in 4D. I'm by myself, but they think I'm 4D. When they see me online, they think they know me. Go ahead, like and subscribe, you gotta show me. I applied pressure and they tried to reject it. Clearly ain't see I was a diamond, so they didn't accept it. Told me I was a failure, so I said F it. Might even start my own school and teach them a lesson. Yeah, I'ma call it South Harmon. Fly down south and get the South poppin'. One day I'ma give you a walkthrough and introduce you to this walk tool. I know you lost, that's just dynasty talk. Cause you can't start no franchise without no dynasty talk. I took a break from the game, they throw my dynasty stop. Till I came back like Wembanyama, I feel like Coach Pop. I can't say that I'm the GOAT, cause you ain't gonna agree. But if I own my own farm, I can make the GOAT. Me, the ladies love the beard and they used to love the goatee. That's when I was a lamb, burning music on CDs. I wasn't born in 88, December 87, that was 16 days away. Might fly to Dallas, why not? I just got paid today. When I land this dirt statue, I came to fade away. Check the timeline for the stories and the play-by-play. My life a Patreon link, you gotta pay to play. I worked 16 hours, boy, that's an 8 and 8. X Factor like Dez Bryant, my boy 88. Why dream light when you living like a heavyweight? This ain't a 1 week thing, we grind like every day. They know my destination, Devi, like I hang with Ray. If they ain't know my name, I bet they know my name today. Treat this mic like a ATM, let's make a trade today. Drop this on Fizzle Friday, cause that's my favorite day. And I'm gonna do it my way, cause that's my favorite way. They tried to put me on the shelf like I'm layaway. Told me it ain't no way, so I made a way. Welcome to South Harmon, I'm glad you here today. Welcome to South Harmon, I'm glad you here today. Welcome to South Harmon, I'm glad you here today. Hit that Patreon link if you here to stay, Treat this mic like an ATM, let's make a trade today.
Holy shit, Adam.
Buddy.
We made it. What a wild week. You'd be feeling great if you're a Dolphins fan. If you're a Cowboys fan, not so much. Dolphins fan, though, let's stand up. Adam, I had to put on the Chargers jersey. They got off the schneid, baby.
They got off the schneid. The Cardinals, took out the Cowboys. But first, Canton, if you could, go ahead and...
South Harmon hologram, power on.
Hit that power.
Power it on now. Okay, speaking of power on, go ahead.
Before we dive into it, though, we got a giveaway going on. So go check down, click the link down in the description. South Harmon bomber jacket being given away. One of the big things about it, following at southharmonff.com. I think there's like 15 entries just for doing that. So when you click that link, don't miss out on that. Go follow Fizzle and everything he's doing. He's absolutely incredible. So we got the giveaway out. We'll be giving it away live on this show next Sunday. So you got 1 week, but get those entries in. Boom.
Corey might have missed it, so just for him, I'll get it back up. Canton, can you do us a favor and play the RIP hologram?
Oh, no. Not again.
Please. Come on.
God damn it.
Maybe not. Maybe it won't work.
Good. Thank God.
Oh, you know what? No. Come on, Canton. Get your shit together.
At your service, Adam. Here is the requested video of RIP.
No.
It is back from the Expo. This is going to take a whole lot of power. Bear with me a moment.
I'm so scared.
but that part's always funny.
If you don't like that, I just don't know what to tell you. Anyway, we'll go ahead and get that off the screen. All right, so let's start with Miami. As Mike said, make sure you hit the giveaway up for the bomber jacket. Pretty dope, man. Pretty dope.
Talk about bombers.
Speaking of the bomber jacket and bombing, Canton, what do we know about this Miami game?
Devon Achane is him. Put some respect on his name.
That's right, Canton. That's right. You tell him.
Talk about a blow-up, Mike. Come on, man. Devon Achane went absolutely nuts. Oh. The crazy part is every time Mostert tried to try to overshine his day, he just he had an answer. Hold my beer, man.
This. Mostert was fantastic in his own right, but Achane, Adam, did you know there's only 19 players that have gone over 200 yards on the ground as a rookie, and Adrian Peterson did it twice, so it's actually only 18.
Yeah, I mean, the crazy part is that it felt like they were just going to take their foot off the gas, and they never ever did. And Achane went bananas, man.
The last one to go over 200 yards as a rookie was Jonathan Taylor, so not too bad of a company. Not too bad of a company. Even the floor, I was trying to find some really shitty ones where I was like, oh, this guy never really had a career. The worst I could do was Thomas Rawls, but even in his rookie year was 800 yards and a RB2 for fantasy. So Achane, good company.
Now,
very good company.
If I was to tell you that Achane was going to go over 200 on the ground, have 4 total touchdowns, have plenty of catches, and work in the passing department, you would have said Mostert was R.I.P., right? But here's the thing.
Yeah. Boom. 2 of them.
Mike, I think we're going to break this thing by the time it's all said and done, man.
We might.
I mean, this is
it's all the fault of the Dolphins, baby. That offense was cooking. Oh, radioactive.
Another 4 for Mostert touchdowns.
Ridiculous.
For those counting, you'd be correct. That's 8. Mike, the crazy part, not done yet. Tyreek still went off.
He still did his thing.
They should have broke the record, right? They should have had the most points score, 73, man. It would have been awesome to see him kick that field goal.
Yeah, it would have. Should have. Rubbed it in. But wide receiver 2 on the week, with 2 running backs scoring 8 touchdowns. Right? Think about that. Let that sink in. And it wasn't like Tua was just along for the ride, man. He's going to end up QB2 on the week, too.
Just absolutely, honestly, Mike, it's just bonkers at this point. So,
you remember when I got back from that cruise? I got back from that cruise?
What'd you tell him? Tell him again, Mike. Go ahead. Tell him again. We'll let you get your props, man.
That the insiders had told me that they had a lot of communication problems with pass protection in that offensive line. Running the play clock down. They weren't efficient. They couldn't get the play call in. They could barely get the plays off. And that this year they pared that shit down, and this offense was going to be much, 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 much better. And ta-da. It's not like Denver's a fucking pushover for defense either. Right?
Well,
they're not.
They looked like one today.
They look like a JV team today. But holy fuck, man. This offense is scary. And think about this. This is all with Jalen Waddle not playing.
Right. I was talking, by Russell Wilson. I still think better days are ahead, but this was not a pretty performance when you're trailing as much as you were today, right?
He was fine. I mean, it's not like he had a Justin Fields or Zach Wilson type performance. He was fine for fantasy. You would have liked to see him be able to do a little bit better, but that defense was just getting gashed ridiculously all day.
I had a Sutton queued up, but Canton didn't get it done in time, so
that's fine.
Canton screwed us, but
we might actually have some
to talk about. But Sutton was okay today, actually.
We might actually have some clarity on who wide receiver 1 is for this offense, and I think for me going forward, it's going to be Courtland Sutton, and the Jerry Jeudy shit I'm going to put on the back burner. He's probably fine.
I'm glad you came around, man. I am.
Courtland Sutton's probably the one. He looked like the one today.
Now, just to let everybody know, this is a shout out to Eric Van Eck. This next part, he said it's a must. So I talked to Canton. We made sure it happened. So Canton, can you give us a little update in this Commanders-Bills game?
Antonio Gibson was a good man. While electric and athletic for a brief period of time, we now put his dynasty and fantasy soul to rest. R.I.P.
You son of a bitch. Oh, no. No. We're not having a fucking Antonio Gibson funeral.
This poor kid, man.
We should, though.
It just makes you pretty sad,
Every time
he was a good soul, though, man. He was a good soul.
Every time he does something good, right, it's followed up by a fumble. And right back into Rivera's shithouse. On a plus note, one of them's not going to be there next year. Like either Gibson's not there or Rivera's not there. And the way they played today, it looks like Rivera might beat him out the door. I'm sure Gibson won't be far behind, though.
We put his soul to rest, man. It was a fun experience, a good ride, But this is just, Mike. The crazy part is he's not even getting work, and when he does, he takes a fumble and loses it. It's
horrible.
Put the kid to bed.
That fucking whole offense was trash today. That Bills defense locked them down. It was nuts. The whole offense. Jahan Dotson didn't do fuck.
I think we can just remove the rest of the Washington Commanders from the hologram, but they don't get any love today. I mean, the Bills were just good. There's really not a lot to discuss, but we'll discuss it anyway, right, Mike? What were your thoughts on the Bills as a whole? I mean, Josh Allen looked great as always.
They did. He looked fine. Like he didn't have to do a whole lot, right? Like if he doesn't get.
I'm talking more from a fantasy perspective, but I'm with you.
From a fantasy perspective, he was okay. Like we still have not seen like these massive blow up games from any quarterbacks yet, which is concerning. We're 3 weeks in and we still haven't seen it yet. But he was fine. He did throw the pick, which wasn't the greatest.
The pick was not a good. That pick was a bad play. But another 46 and touchdown on the ground kind of salvaged his day.
If he doesn't get that rushing touchdown, then it's not as rosy. But ho-hum, James Cook, almost 100 yards on the ground. Again, 100 total yards. Eric can keep shitting on this guy all he fucking wants. James Cook's fucking good. Stop
Well, before we get to that, because we do need to get to that, we got a couple, everybody's
R.I.Ps.
Yeah.
Thoughts and prayers.
But before we do that, we already did that, but let's get to what Mike just talked about, man. Mike, can we get some James Cook in the building? James Cook, he's looking good, man. I mean, say whatever you want, but if he's going to get 15 touches, I don't even care if he's getting goal line work. 15 touches on the ground, another 2 catches. So,
yep, 3 targets. So he did fine. He's going to get you 100
If you're
yards.
in the Bills offense and you're going to get close to 20 touches in a game, it's a fire you up every week, right?
You're a Bills running back who's got a floor of about 10 points, fantasy points per game in normal PPR.
Tough to beat.
What's not to like, right?
Tough
That's a starter every single week.
So how about, Mike, this is Gabe Davis's day was a very interesting one.
He started great.
35-yard touchdown, and we kept waiting, and that was
nothing.
That was it. That was the play. He had one play for his entire day.
Well, he didn't have to do much when Washington couldn't hold on to the football. Neither Antonio Gibson nor Sam Howell decided they wanted to hold on to the ball today, buddy.
I want to talk about.
You guys just take it.
I do want to talk about. We don't really need to get to Diggs, who's just a god. We can, but I do want to talk about Kincaid, man. Like you're thinking today's the day, and wow.
I told you it wasn't. I've told you since Friday it wasn't, but nobody listens to me around here.
2 catches on 3 targets. For 3 yards. I'm sorry, 2 catches on 2 targets for 3 yards. That is an R.I.P. stat line, man. That's rough.
He like the third best rookie tight end in this class.
Maybe. Maybe. I don't even know if I go that far, Mike. Okay, let's go ahead and let's get into this Cleveland Browns game, Mike. We got another blow up.
Let's talk about it.
And it's not who you think it was going to be. Jerome Ford. Whoa.
Did it again.
Mike, are you interested all of a sudden in Jerome Ford?
His usage for them being up so much wasn't very fucking promising, right? Like the fantasy points, at the end of the day, you look at it and you go, okay, right? He's got the 2 touchdowns, so you're like, okay. But Adam, 10 carries, 18 yards for a game that you're fucking leading. The Pierre Strong's getting work. Kareem Hunt right off the streets getting work. Elijah Moore spending time in the backfield. If you got Jerome Ford, you want to sell him off of this 2-tutty game, by all means. Give me a second. You can have all the Jerome Ford you want. Peace out. Pass.
Yeah, I actually do think though that it's for depending on what he costs. like I'd be okay having him and keeping him. I'm not going to probably buy him for what he's going for, but like what would you want to sell him for, I guess is the question, because I'm not sure he's even – all right, but I'm with you. If I can get a second, I'd be in, but what if you couldn't get a second? Don't you just got to hold, right?
2/3.
He's gone for 2/3? Okay. 2/3.
You can have him. Pass.
That's close. Lineup I might hold, but I'm with you. Generally, I want to sell. I just don't. It was a great game. I think there's going to be some other good games for him, but I think Kareem Hunt's going to get worked in more. I think that there's days ahead that aren't necessarily as rosy as this one right here. So, okay, Mike. Elijah Moore. Not really a. He has
monster
not done much. He has not done much as far as stats go and like the fantasy blow up. But Mike, nine targets. I think he might be a sneaky buy.
He caught all 9 too. Yeah, I like him.
He's got a lot of goal line, or not goal line, but at the line of scrimmage type usage. But I'm still interested. I think, man, I'd be buying.
Can I get off Jerome Ford straight up for Elijah Moore? Is that a possibility?
There was a time before the Kareem Hunt thing where I would have said maybe I'll do it the other way around, but now it's easily Elijah Moore. It's just no way. Give me Elijah Moore for sure. This type of usage, Mike, he's honestly someone I'd consider starting in like lineup start 10. So
right, and he's being used in the backfield too, like actually getting some carries too. Got a
healthy amount of work, man. What did you think of Deshaun Watson? I know you were pretty high on him today. What'd you think?
Yeah, I was pretty fucking disappointed too in X. People love to dunk on Deshaun for certain reasons. We understand what those are, but nobody wants to give him his flowers when he's playing well, and he played really, really well today. I know it was the Titans secondary, so I'll preface it by saying it's the Titans secondary, and that's why I told you guys to play Deshaun Watson today, and I would be very, very concerned if he didn't have a big week versus the Titans secondary, but he went out and did everything that we asked of him. Very efficient, nice QBR, nice quarterback rating, played very well. Got the ball to Elijah Moore and Amari Cooper, and even a little DPJ got sprinkled in. Not enough where you want him in a lineup league, but best ball league, you're like, DPJ still alive.
Yeah, I think he started slower than I would have liked, but Mike, I mean, his day ended up finishing fantastic.
He also had that one like Carson Wentz-esque play, right, where he's like he spun around, he fucking don't do shit like that. Come on.
He also inside like the 5, he really tried to lower his shoulder. I don't know if you saw that play, but oh my gosh, please stop doing that.
Yeah.
And he had a great day though overall. Only 6 incompletions, 2 touchdowns. So he didn't like pop off the page, but this is a checking all the boxes for what you're looking for in a day like today, in my opinion. Amari Cooper is just steady Eddie, man. This is a top 12 wide receiver in Dynasty and in Fantasy. Well, maybe not Dynasty, but in Fantasy for this year, yes.
You got to have a loaded team to ever come to me with a start-sit question with Amari Cooper ever again. That's the echelon he's in right now. Just you play him.
And it seems like, honestly, the rapport that Watson has with him is just it's money, man. They feel like they're connect very well. Derrick Henry, man. Oh, I don't know. I'm scared,
better days
man.
are ahead. This Cleveland defense, again, it feels like every week I come on here and say, Adam, you're the Browns fan, but that Cleveland defense impresses me every single week. Holy Santa Claus shit. And Myles Garrett was a fucking man-possessed. Shout out to him on my IDP league. Let's go, 70 burger. You think Achane had a good week? Go look at Myles Garrett's stat line in IDP 101, baby.
Now, speaking of RIPs, honestly, the rest of the team for me is going to not make a hologram.
No, thank you. Pass.
Derrick Henry didn't need to today, but Nuke, pass. This Chig thing, Mike, remember when Chig was this big, huge, oh my God, what are we going to do? Get out of here, man.
Never heard of him.
Get out of here. So
the rest was booty. They were all disgusting.
All right, Mike. Let's get over to the Ravens Colts game, and let me just say, Canton, can you give a shout out to Scott Connor for us here?
Any RB on a 53. Hello, Mr. Zach Moss.
Ultimate. Zach Moss, baby. Stand up. Let's go.
Zach
Look
Moss,
at that.
Man.
Look at that workload too, man. 30 fucking carries for Zach Moss. You're not even coming down on out on passing downs. But I mean, who you're coming out for? Fellow plotter Trey Sermon? Is that who you're gonna get benched for? They told Deion Jackson to fuck off for Trey Sermon, so Zach Moss show. Ooh,
this Ravens D isn't that bad. This is a great game from him.
They were down like 7 defensive players, though. I mean, not to not to make light of the fact that Zach Moss had a monster week, especially because we didn't project anything for Zach Moss really outside of just a workload, but he went out and played, and he played well. I mean, he's still slower than dog shit, but we've seen with Brian Robinson sometimes that don't matter. Right? You get 30 carries, as long as you average 4 or 5 yards per carry, you're doing all right.
Yep. I don't think it was quite the day we were hoping for, but Pittman also was solid. Like, this is, I think, the type of work you're hoping for Pittman, though, honestly. 9 catches, 77 in a PPR league. That's still a hell of a game,
11 targets, which we kind of projected going in with Gardner. Was going to focus on him.
With Minshew there, I mean, this is a guy that's going to throw the ball quite a bit. And they did. They threw it 44 times. Minshew wasn't honestly all that great, but you'll take this, I think. I want to bring one thing up in PPR. Now, this is, I think, something not to chase, but who had a decent game was Josh Downs. But
he did.
Let's acknowledge it was Minshew at the helm, though, that I think is the reason you're getting, 8 catches and almost 60 yards.
We'll say this. Best ball wide receiver right now. That's the category you put him in.
1,000%.
Non-consideration in lineups.
All right. Now let's get over to, Mike, the side of the ball that Lamar plays. Let's talk about the Ravens here. Lamar, I think at this point, offensively, it is not really all that fun to watch. The offense, as a passing offense, is very stagnant. But the dude ran for 100 yards and 2 tutties. So, for fantasy, you're elated. And I think in the real football and maybe even for, long-term fantasy, there's concern for Lamar right now. So I'm curious what your thoughts are.
I have none. I was going to actually put Lamar as one of my biggest buys if people are still panicked on him.
I'm not disagreeing. I'm thinking the narratives are really starting to swarm around this right now.
That's fine. I think he's starting to look a little bit more comfortable in this offense, to me, at least when I watched it. So you got to see actually some worked-in, designed quarterback runs as well as his normal scrambling ability, and I think the passing offense is fine. They're just still trying to find their footing. Now, the only part of the passing offense that I'm concerned about is who's the number 2 receiver, actual wide receiver, not number 2 target, and all those people who are out there pushing the Isaiah Likely thing. I think you could, probably take that take to the fucking trash.
You could probably all the stand up for Likely. You could sit down. But I mean, honestly though, the way this offense, first of all, they had the ball with chances to win the game versus a Colts-led team with Gardner Minshew and don't do it. That to me is another scary thing for this team should be better with Lamar, man.
Should be.
I'm with you, though, in Dynasty and in Fantasy I'm buying if there's any type of panic. Andrews was okay, though, at best. 4 catches, 35 yards, not what you're hoping for. Zay Flowers, man, the targets are pouring in. Only 48 yards, but something to really keep in mind here. 8 catches.
I think one of the biggest things, though, is without J.K. Dobbins, you see how important that explosive type running back is to them. And even J.K. Dobbins on a bad ACL last year broke off some chunk plays. Now, none of these fucking running backs they got right now are that big of a threat, right? No. Kenyon Drake, all of them are old and slow. Gus Edwards is especially slow. They all have injury problems of their own. I think they're almost desperate for an explosive playmaker at the running back spot, and I think that's what the offense is missing. But I would be more inclined and much happier if this offense would hurry up and figure out that they need to get Mark Andrews the football a lot more. Come on, Todd Monken. Figure out a way to get him the ball like you did Brock Bowers at Georgia. Do it. Do it. I know it's in you.
Okay, so let's get off of this game now, Mike. Let's
Zay
go
Flowers
ahead.
Still confirmed good and a number 1 wide receiver in this offense.
Pretty good.
Pretty good.
Mike, let's go ahead and get into your guy, Sammy LaPorta. Sammy Ballgame. Blow up, man. That's a blow up. I don't care what you say.
Did I fucking call it or what? Did I call it or what?
It was a hell of a game. Well, he had that one wide open busted coverage touchdown that just, after that, his day was going to be locked in. It was a great play call, wide open.
Did I call it or what?
You called it. Nice job, buddy. I'm giving you your props. I got the blow up for you. What do you want me to do?
Go.
What do you want me to do?
I said he'd be tight end 3 on the week.
Where is he right now?
tight end 1.
I was going to say, because I don't think anyone had a better week than him, including Pharaoh Brown, who had a nice game himself.
Fucking Pharaoh Brown, man. Who thought that one was coming? But
that's an A-Warp tight end shout out right there. But Sammy LaPorta, man.
I know he had the long touchdown, right? The 45
The usages, though, like I think the long touchdown shouldn't overshadow the usage today.
The entire offense is Amon-Ra St. Brown and Sammy LaPorta in the passing game. The entire offense.
I mean, who would have thought that they would trade away T.J. Hockenson, draft another Iowa tight end, and like actually build the offense kind of around him?
Shit, we fucked up. All right. We screwed up. Let's throw the ball to our tight end.
I love that this offense decided, we're going to trade away DeAndre Swift, trade away T.J. Hockenson, but we're going to go get Jahmyr Gibbs and Sammy LaPorta and just do it around them. So
it was great, man. Not only the long touchdown was nice, Adam, but like you mentioned, the target share, 11 fucking targets, man. You're going to get outpaced by Amon-Ra.
You're going to get that many targets in this offense. That's crazy. Let me just touch on briefly, though, Mike, before we get too far away from this. Jahmyr Gibbs had a lot of carries. I mean, the question now becomes, like, what does this look like when it's Monty back? Because Gibbs had 17 carries.
Right. I don't think he's getting 17 with Monty back. Let's put that out there. But he probably gets more in the passing game. Like maybe. Well,
that's what I want to get to, Mike. A little concerning because I think people look like this. Oh, this was good for Gibbs. I think Monty's going to come and take a lot of these touches. I want to see this guy used as a passing weapon.
I do too.
I would love to see that. Only one catch for 2 yards. I don't know.
But let's not shit on it. We never saw Dan Campbell use DeAndre Swift with this many carries ever before, right? He refused to. So the fact that he's willing to, just go, fuck it, I made a mistake. Ben Johnson, like, go ahead. If you want to, we know we're hurting at running back. Like, let's get the ball to our playmaker running back, and we're going to get it to him early and often. That's fine. That's fine. Like, at least that's a good thing to see that they're willing to do it with him. Now, ideally, you want more balance. You want him to get more work in the passing game, and then, maybe the carries to come down to like 10, 12 tops with Monty back. But while Monty's out, at least we could put this Craig Reynolds shit to bed. No.
Well, let's talk about then. The only thing I'll talk about on the other end is Kyle Pitts was the most valuable asset on the Falcons offense, which is talking to how bad it really was. Holy shit.
Yeah, you got to love that 9 PPR points. Oh, shit.
I hope that was a heavy tight end premium, buddy. 5 catches for 41 yards. Yikes.
I still have no idea why they didn't make a trade for Trey Lance, but hey, here we are.
Desmond Ridder is freaking terrible, bro. Like, is he going to finish the season as their quarterback?
I mean, it's a race right now for worst quarterback in the league, and man, Justin Fields is in that conversation, but that's how bad it is, right? Zach Wilson, Desmond Ridder, Justin Fields, woof.
One thing I did not expect, kudos to the Detroit defense, but I did not expect to see Bijan shut down this much, man. Really, like at all. Absolutely clamped.
He had that one really nice run where he kind of made that highlight play, but I mean, it only went for like 8-9 yards, something like that.
That was outside most of his day because he had 33 yards total.
Yeah, buddy. Outside of that, it was crickets and Drake London disappearing again. But that's how it's going to be.
All right, we're pushing a little bit later in the day. I'm going to gloss over one of the games, I think, today, Mike, but we'll see if we can get back to it. Let's talk about
we're doing all right. We're moving along at a good pace. We had a bunch of them we just skipped over.
All right. Well, then here. Let's go ahead and let's talk about then. You want to talk about Zach Wilson, so let's discuss it, man. This Jets Patriots game. Goodness, man. Terrible.
First off, before we shit all over Zach Wilson too much, did anybody expect a whole lot going up against the Patriots?
I don't expect much from Zach Wilson, period, is I guess the best way to say it. But
that's fair.
New England, Hoodie's he's pretty good at scheming up stuff.
I mean, this is the same team that made Sam Darnold see ghosts. It's a division opponent. They know.
Do you think Zach Wilson saw some ghosts today?
I think he saw a lot. You know what he's not seeing tonight? He's not getting a lot of MILF tonight. That's not happening.
I think he's seeing a early bedtime.
Just go to sleep.
Mike, Breece Hall, though, yikes.
Breece, Dalvin Cook,
they had the whole run game shut down, dude.
There ain't it's like the Tennessee Titans, man. There ain't a fucking person on this team I want to talk about. They're all bad. Garrett Wilson was bad. Garrett Wilson out here bitching and moaning, yet doesn't run his routes right. So, he does finally get a chance to score a touchdown, goes through his hands. Every one of them sucked.
Yep. Can we?
And yet they almost won the game. They almost won the game on that Hail Mary. Randall Cobb could have brought it in. Who knew?
I got to make a new hologram, Mike. Canton, we got to make a Zeke one for next week, so mark that down. But let's talk about the wide receiver one in New England pretty clearly in my mind. Kendrick Bourne.
Who gives a shit?
I'll tell you who gives a shit. Best ball wide receiver, right?
That's what you should say. Best ball wide receiver one in New England.
He was a best ball buy, and he's a best ball only. Do I give a shit?
There you go.
Mac Jones, I mean, it was okay, I guess is best way to put it.
Yep.
Okay at best, right?
A good Jets defense, didn't is what it is. You would have liked to see him put the game away, but he didn't. He kind of shit the bed in the second half, to be completely honest.
Canton has something to ask you specifically about this offense, and I think
Scanning.
in the regards of Juju.
Mike, get off of Juju's jock. It's embarrassing. Nope. He blows.
Can we just admit that the Juju's not happening this year?
Probably not. He looks dusty as fuck.
I'll be honest, I did not expect him to look this bad. I bought him in a couple places pretty cheap in the offseason, and I'm regretting it.
Plus, no, we're probably all still winning our bet with Rip about who has more yards at the end of the year, Juju or Alec Pierce, because Alec Pierce ain't doing fuck all either.
Josh Downs has come over and taken Antoine Pierce is not a thing anymore. It's Alec Pierce strictly.
I'm not calling him Antoine anymore until he fucking does something.
Speaking of rough performances, Mike, let's go ahead and let's talk about this one.
What else do you need to know about this guy? Come on.
A.J. Dillon, man. Like, 2 weeks in a row, no Aaron Jones. Like, give us something.
2 weeks in a row, dog shit.
Absolute tragic season event, man.
What would you take for Aaron Jones right now? I'd take any second.
You mean A.J. Dillon?
Yeah, A.J. Dillon. Whatever. Who gives a fuck? I don't even need to say his name right.
If someone will buy a second or buy him for a second, I'd cash. Let me see if I can take that second and package something else to go buy something that I want.
2/3?
No, that's just because of the name cachet. Name cachet only. But I get your point. I really do. It's more about like it's still AJ Dillon. The name.
No
Jordan Love
catches,
though was playing
targets.
terrible. And they come back and win this game. I mean, I don't know what your thoughts are about Jordan Love, but curious for the group.
That was nice to see from an NFL standpoint. Not so. I mean, fantasy salvaged his day, right? But to see he actually has that ability, you're like, holy shit, man! Because he was getting his ass kicked all game. He was. That Saints defense was tearing him a new one. When Carr went down with that shoulder injury, it was like, holy shit, like they might have a chance. And then Jordan Love was like, this is the moment. You guys open the door, and then he kicked that fucking door in, went down, won the game. So. Props to Jordan Love for actually stepping up there. Fantasy-wise, not as rosy as you'd like it to be, but, dude, Jordan Love might be a quarterback. Like, I like what I saw from Jordan Love, to be completely honest. I'm sorry I've been shitting on him so much, but this was impressive for him, actually playing the game of football.
Yeah, with you. All right, Mike, let's get into some other ones here.
Jaden Reed, 3 for 63. Let's go.
Jaden Reed. Let's get into this Chargers-Vikings game. One of the highest totals, if not the highest on the week. I believe it was the highest. Mike, we had some blow-ups. Keenan Allen. Whoa. Keenan Allen now, 2 weeks in a row, letting you know. Dude's really good, man. Really, really good.
I mean, we expected points in this game, right? Like, we talked about it on Friday. Vegas expected points in this game. I didn't expect Keenan Allen to go over 200 fucking yards, though. That wasn't on the bingo card. Right next to devon Achane going over 200 yards. So
Keenan Allen quietly, I'm not even going to say quietly, but because of all the other stuff happening in the NFL, it feels like people are not giving him his props, man. This dude has put on a show 2 weeks in a row.
Give him his flowers, man. Give him his flowers.
At the same time, Mike Will had a good game, too. I mean, it's two explosion games in this game.
Last one you're ever going to see.
Really? Okay, that was it. Did y'all see that? If not, go back and rewind that. That's the last one you're going to see.
Did you not see he got injured?
No, what was it? Was it out for the year?
He's probably tore his ACL.
Shit.
He's done for the year. Yeah. You missed out on that one.
I missed that.
That wasn't a hot take when I said it was probably the last one you ever see.
Oh, he was carted off. I actually did not catch that part. Okay.
He couldn't even get on the bus. Like he couldn't walk to the bus. They had to cart him to the bus. So yeah.
Well, this is not good for Mike Williams. Then obviously we hope for the best, but it doesn't look good. The other thing is this is going to open up the door, Mike, for can Quentin Johnson do something? Because
he's
not necessarily. Palmer's still keeping him off the field for the most part, right?
That's true. Josh Palmer also had a very nice game.
He did
himself. So,
and it's not ideal for Herbert, but Mike Herbert has been awesome. This dude is really, really good, man.
QB1 on the week.
Yep. On the other side of the ball, there's really no need to put this up, but every week we're just gonna Justin Jefferson is. I mean,
yeah.
There's nothing you can do. He's an animal.
He gets a permanent hologram. Josh Kelly, how about that? Telling everybody to start Josh Kelly. I'm done with Josh Kelly. Fuck that guy. I'll take anything you give me for him. He's best ball only running back.
I made him a hologram.
The ultimate disrespect.
And Canton deleted it, so it's not here anymore.
Good job, Canton. Yep.
Hawk with another great game.
Stud.
I mean, the Iowa tight ends stand up, man. The Iowa tight ends stand up. What did you think of the game from Jordan Addison today?
It was okay. Like to begin the game, he wasn't doing shit. Adam.
Right. He started very slow. Agreed.
Right. When they were trying to come back, he got a lot of work, especially on those last couple of drives. So good to see him rebound and salvage his fantasy day. We'll see if that carries over a little bit of momentum, But it definitely wasn't the blow-up game and a plus matchup that everybody was really thinking. Yep.
I'm with you. I mean, it was, 6 catches, 52 yards. I'm never going to be upset. But in this matchup, I was hoping for more. Yeah. Still solid. Just not
at best, he's like the third, fourth option, right?
Yeah. Yep.
It's kind of like Madison. Madison also started fucking horribly, and you saw why they made the trade for Cam Akers, and then he kind of rebounded and salvaged a little bit of his fantasy day at the end. So, nice game though, from exactly what we wanted though. Just a high-scoring shootout with lots of passing attempts. Outside of Josh Kelly just completely shitting on any hope that I had for him and me never wanting him on any team ever again outside of a best ball, which is the most disrespectful thing I can say to any running back if you are a best ball running back. Meaning like I need to roster you because you have a role, but I would never fucking start you in a lineup league ever again. That's Josh Kelly.
That's pretty bad, man. I don't know. I mean, where are you putting Jordan Addison? Like price check on him. What's your? Are you interested?
I think he stays about the same.
Okay.
Like no real change. I mean, Keep Trade Cut already had him ridiculously high. Like I would, I'm not shitting you, Adam. I would take Zay Flowers over Jordan Addison at this point. Like I'm more secure in Zay Flowers' role than I am Jordan Addison's.
Okay. Mike, I know you're excited about this, so let's go ahead and get into it, man. This is frankly, this whole offense just not ideal. CeeDee Lamb, this Dallas offense, they lose to the Cardinals on the road. Oof.
So Mike McCarthy needs to get fired, please, for fantasy's sake. Now, as an Eagles fan, I love every time Dallas lose. I love when they lose. Yeah. I love watching Dallas fans be in misery. I mean, I love you, Fizzle. Like you're my guy, but no hate here. Christian's also a Cowboys fan. I don't really give a shit. Like I love watching them be in misery. I love watching them lose. But from a fantasy perspective, like Mike McCarthy is going to get Tony Pollard killed. And he has no fucking idea how to run an offense, right? I want to establish the run. No, what you need to do is throw the ball to CeeDee Lamb, Michael Gallup, Brandon Cooks, let Dak cook, and then use Tony Pollard in efficient ways out of the backfield while getting him 10, 15, 18 carries on the ground, tops, period. Yeah. And he refuses to do that. No, we're just going to hammer Tony Pollard up the middle and fuck the rest of our playmakers. And then we'll put Dak into a bad spot, and Dak will do what Dak tends to do in those spots, which is make fucking horrible plays. So,
sure,
it is what it is.
Dak, very up and down, right? I think is the way to describe Dak's day.
Yes.
Yikes.
Can he be a great quarterback, especially for fantasy? Yes.
Yes.
But his head coach and offensive coordinator, because that's what McCarthy is, needs to fucking help him out, and he's not. Like, this is disgusting. It's a gross misuse of what CeeDee Lamb and Dak could do. It's a gross misuse of what Michael Gallup and Brandon Cooks can do. And you are going to get Tony Pollard, which is one of the most explosive, best pass-catching weapons at the running back position, killed by what you're doing.
Yeah, Pollard had a real nice day. No touchdowns, but great day for him.
I don't know. You guys keep playing like this, Fizzle. You ain't going to make the playoffs.
Whoa. Only one game. I think Dallas, one of the things when I watch them lately, this year, last year, they have very like up and down games. They have these great games where they show up and show out, versus the Giants, and then they have these games where they die. So I think they're going to be fine, but I think that you have a lot of these type of duds mixed in. That's just kind of been what their recipe has been for the last few years.
We'll see if they can get it right next week.
Okay, so let's go ahead and let's talk about this, man. Hollywood, Mike, you called it right. Solid day for Hollywood Brown.
Stop fighting me on Hollywood.
Well, he had a touchdown, and he had a decent little target load coming his way. I would not have guessed that Josh Dobbs looked as good as he did today. Only 4 incompletions.
Against the Cowboys defense, right?
That's what I mean. Against this defense. That's why I wanted no part of it, Mike. I just think that a lot of that was versus this Dallas defense. I did not see them scoring 28 points in any capacity. So
I mean, say what you will, but Hollywood's got 22 targets in 3 games. So like he's getting usage. So
Michael Wilson, not a ton of uses, but man, that was a nice day for him too.
It was a nice one long catch.
Yep, one long catch. That's true. Yep, that's fair.
Great job.
All right, Mike. Let's get to this Chiefs-Bears drubbing.
You don't want to put Rondale Moore's stat line in there. 6 targets, 4 catches, 8 yards.
I was going to, but
that's like the
Canton didn't have a Rondale.
Oh no, that's like the Jerome Bettis usage put out as a wide receiver.
What about this Fields thing, man?
Dude, bad.
We got to talk about it, man. Before we get out of here, we got to be honest. We have to just wrong, or indifferent. This is Mike. This is 3 weeks now. It's been bad. They're 0-3. Like, we need to see this start to go the other way, or they're not going to keep this guy, man. I don't even care if it's the right thing to do. I just think that that's going to be the way that this team operates, man.
So are you gonna sell low on Fields?
No,
I'm not
going to sell low yet. But if you can sell and it's not low, I think it might be time to consider that.
If you could get off 1-for-1 for one of the top 15 dynasty quarterbacks, you doing it?
I think you might need to try. Well, I think you might consider it just for like trying to not hemorrhage everything. Like this. Dude,
if you got to add a second to get like C.J. Stroud, you in?
Yes.
Okay, I'm with you. I think that is very plausible. Other than that, though, I'm not selling 1-for-1 for Russell Wilson or Derek Carr, or I'm not taking any firsts. Like, I'm not there yet. I'm not.
Yep.
I also watched him start. Fucking horribly last year, right, for 4 games. Right, so we haven't hit 4 games yet. I still got 1 more to go of getting kicked in the balls. We get to 5, then
Mike,
I'll be.
The thing is,
fucking pants on fire.
They're getting trounced. He's got every chance, like you could think, in comeback mode, and it just seems like nothing is happening. I'm very nervous.
Let me ask the people here. Like, we watch football. We're pretty in tune with it. Okay, Luke Getsy. What do you know about Luke Getsy? Where did he come from before he was the Bears offense coordinator? Anybody know?
I don't. I tell you what, no. I don't know where he went. I don't. I just feel like he needs to go back to where he was from.
He was the Green Bay Packers for 2 years. Quarterbacks coach and passing coordinator, whatever the fuck that was. Wasn't calling plays. That was Hackett at the time.
Right.
He had Aaron Rodgers. He had Devontae Adams. Now, if you want to look at the stats under there with Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams, those two had great years. Everybody else on the team, not so much outside Aaron Jones, right? Yep. Number two receiver in fucking Green Bay was irrelevant. Aaron Jones was the only running back worth a shit. Adam, the last time he was an offense coordinator, do you have any idea where it was?
The last time he was an OC? I just told you I didn't know where he was from last time, so no.
There you go. When he was an OC before, it was 2018 Mississippi State. You want to take a guess at how many yards his quarterback had in 2018?
Not very many, just being that it was Mississippi State in the last 10 years.
1,700, Adam.
This was post Dak, right? So it's
yes. This was Nick Fitzgerald. Right, Nick Fitzgerald had 1,700 yards through the air and like 1,200 or something on the ground. No receiver had more than 26 catches. Like this is what we're talking about. Like this is a guy. Listen, I don't want to shit on the guy too much, okay? But like this offense is fucking horrible, and it's not just Justin Fields, and a lot of it is the offensive coordinator. Like majority of it is the offensive coordinator.
That's fine. I'll say that like all that can be true. The problem is nobody's going to care in that organization. They're not going to say like, hey, you know what? This isn't Fields' fault. It's because we have Luke Getsy in there, right? Luke Getsy.
They might care, though, once this organization gets cleaned out top to fucking
They might
bottom.
get rid of Luke Getsy, but they're also going to get rid of Justin Fields. He's had enough sample size, and they have high enough picks to where I think like this is starting to trend.
They will trash can Eberflus in a heartbeat as well.
For sure. What I'm saying is that this is not going to get Fields a pass, even though it may deserve one. It won't happen.
Could.
So I'm getting off of Fields. I think the Chiefs, though, everything is where you want to see it.
Other than like this backfield is just so fucking tough. What do you do with it on a weekly basis? We had McKinnon, and I dismissed like McKinnon start questions.
I think you just start everybody.
Right? Do you start Clyde Edwards-Helaire too?
Other than CEH, he just.
Well, even he like 55.
He got 15 carries, but Mike, I think 15 carries is because they're beating up on the Bears this week. Like I think it's Pacheco and McKinnon I want to fire up. Honestly, McKinnon, Mike, though, I don't even know. It's hard to really predict that. He's got 2 touchdowns, but they're on 5. Like what do you have? 5 total touches.
So going forward with the Chiefs, it's Mahomes, it's Kelce.
Yes.
It's every running back. By every running back, we mean McKinnon and Pacheco.
Yes, I want to play Pacheco. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, I need to see more before I'm playing him, actually, in lineup.
None of the wide receivers. Like, I don't know who the fuck it's going to be this week. Could be Justin Watson. Could be Rashee Rice. Could be Sky Moore. Could be fucking Kadarius Toney.
Rashee Rice was solid, like I think, but you can't really rely on these guys weekly.
In
best ball,
league,
all best ball, fine, but no lineup.
Right.
I'm with you.
Okay, I'm with you. It's tough. The running back room like pisses me off. Like, pick a dude, please.
Let's Mike. Let's just talk about this. The Texans and Jags, last game that we got to touch on. Who saw this one coming? Who saw this one coming, man? Like, legitimately.
Trevor Lawrence has been playing like shit. The Jags as a whole have been playing like shit.
Let's talk about the Texans first. Let's get to the good first and the bad second. Tank Dell.
I'm sorry, Tank Dell.
Yeah. Is he get lineup consideration?
I think you have Tank Dell as line. If you're having Robert Woods as lineup consideration, you should be having fucking Tank Dell as lineup consideration. Number 1 target this week.
Nico Collins.
He did okay. Like, it started off really well, and then the game was so fucking ridiculously out of hand that Tank Dell was the one who got loose for a long pass. So it is what it is. I mean, Robert Woods still had a good role. This was a weird spot for the Texans and C.J. Stroud and their wide receiver weapons because they were playing from ahead from the entire game, which
completely.
also like C.J. Stroud still did fine playing from ahead. Like,
that's efficient. Where I think C.J. Stroud having 280, 2 touchdowns in a game they're winning the whole time, man, it makes me pretty excited. Now, Mike, I will say this week, can we get a little bit of notice on Dame? Outrushed by Devin Singletary.
What do you mean? Yards wise?
Yeah.
Not carry. Okay.
No, but I mean he had 14 carries for 31 yards. He did get the touchdowns.
Don't try to put him on here.
No, I'm saying I'm not putting a hologram for him. I'm saying that this is what I was worried about with Pierce, though. Pierce is maybe going to get the 1A, but do I want that in an offense if Singletary is going to get 10 carries? I don't.
I will say this: the Dameon Pierce thing, though. Like, I'm just about done with this whole fucking thing. Right? Like, you had a positive game script the entire game, and you still didn't do fucking shit. So, like, we knew he probably wouldn't do a whole bunch from behind, and now he's not doing stuff from ahead. So,
like, he definitely wasn't doing anything from behind.
This backfield as a whole is just a fucking pass.
All right, let's talk about the Jags now.
Dude, fucking Tank Bigsby. Did you see another pass went through his hand? Like, I know he got the touchdown, but right after that, he had that pass went right through his fucking hands, and I'm like, God damn it, Tank.
The crazy part, Mike, is like two carries for 10 yards. He did get the touchdown, but this is all Travis Etienne.
Fucking,
man.
This is Antonio Bigsby right here.
Yeah, we can get rid of that. This is all Travis Etienne. This is
fire
his
him up, man. He's getting all the usage. Are you gonna start buying into Travis Etienne now?
No, I'm in on Travis Etienne at this point. How can you not be? Yep. Ridley, Mike. I would not have expected this, man. From
still
Ridley.
Doing nothing.
Yep, and Ingram had himself a day. I think we all kind of called that, right?
Yeah, we kind of knew it when those Zay Jones targets get consolidated.
Yep.
And we say Christian targets
Kirk
get consolidated.
Christian Kirk had a touchdown to kind of save his day. 5 4 for 54 and a TD. Right?
We say targets get consolidated and fucking Jamal Agnew gets 5 for some god-awful reason.
Yeah.
At least you guys can kind of see why Doug Peterson got fired from Philadelphia after winning the Super Bowl.
I don't know how you have like
just say it.
Just think about this for a second. Losing this game at home to the Texans by 20. 3 games in. Just understand this. 3 games in. The Texans are ahead of the Jaguars in the standings.
Nuts.
Tell me who called that? And I think
one.
that's a good way to end that, you want us to make predictions and this and that. Well, it's fucking impossible to make perfect predictions when you got things like that happening.
Hey, just a pro tip too. This is also why I almost refuse to pick division matchups in an eliminator pool. Right. Because who knows these fucking teams better than ones that play them twice every single year for the last billion years?
Who took the Ravens in the survivor pools today?
Ooh,
right.
That sucked too. Who took the Cowboys?
Mike, that's unnecessary, man. You didn't have to do that.
Hey, go check out that giveaway though.
Make sure you get your hands on the giveaway. The jackets over there. Bomber jacket's dope, man. It's an extra large. Make sure you're doing everything in the instructions for following the Twitter account. Fizzle's doing a crazy job on that. Twitter and Fizzle. The Fizzle account is running so great right now, and I'm sorry about your Cowboys. Mike does not care. He's coming for your jugular. He does not care, man, at all.
No, fuck them Cowboys. I think Jerry Jones did.
That's all we got, man.
Jerry Jones, no one cares.
Mike, I think one
Devon
more thing to say.
Achane is him. Put some respect on his name.
Devon Achane is him. Adam, what are you sending for Achane right now?
I was just going to say, someone put it in here. We have to at least talk about it. Are you sending it first? I don't know if
Best
I want
ball?
to.
I'll send it first all day.
Best ball, I'll send it first. In lineup, are you sending it first? I'm not sending my first in lineup. We talked about the flexibility that it can have. So
I want to keep the flexibility. I want to see his usage next week.
I would send a late first that's not mine probably, though, in lineup. Like at this, just the explosion that he has in this offense is crazy. He's gonna take runs to the crib, man.
He gets 15 touches next week. At least 15 touches. That's all I need. I'll send him fucking first. I don't care what the final stat line is. He gets the usage next week. First, gone. Lineup.
We'll see you guys back here. Same time, same place next week for the South Harmon Sunday recap. We're out of this thing. Peace.
Peace.